Hello and welcome to the studio where we paint away the stress of everyday life here in Wales. Thank you very much for joining me here today. Now I've got a fantastic idea today. Let's just have a joy of creating. So I thought something like a different outlook, a different perspective maybe. But before we do that, let's have a look at the colours that I'm going to be using on this lesson today.
So grab your brush, have a great time. And don't forget to click subscribe.
So just a basic palette today. I got some titanium white, I got some Mars black, some burnt umber, some ultramarine blue, some cadmium yellow, and some crimson. Or any red will do. There you go. That's all we're going to be using. Basic colours. I am going to be using my medium mix today. That is available at www.clive5art.co.uk, so please pop along there. And we're going to be painting again on a little bit of canvas on my board set to the right hand side of my easel, because I've currently got a commission on there and I don't want to move it basically. So without further ado, let's get on to the painting. Okay, very quickly, I'm just going to paint straight onto some white paper. I'll show you how to tone that in just 1 second. But I thought very quickly, I was just going to draw a quick line. I want to section this up. This is not a rising line. This is just a line that I'm going to be using for something. So let's put one line there like that. And let's just put another line there like that. And let's just put another line just slightly above that line there like that. Okay, so we've got 3 lines in total. 3 lines in total. Now I have been asked about gessos. If you've painted with me before, you know what gesso is, or you should know what gesso is. Gesso is a primer. Even though you've primed you bought a primed canvas or piece of work, it's always best to gesso it ready for preparation of painting. So what I'm going to do is get some of this lumpy bumpy. Gesso tends to thicken up a bit. Just put a little bit of that on. Grab whatever colour you want. In this case, I'm just going to put a little bit of burnt umber to it. And look at that. Already we've got a bit of a ground colour. And that's all it is really, is just to tone back that canvas. So I just burnt umber, a little bit of gesso. When you gesso in your canvases, just add a little bit of paint to the gesso and you've got a tone. And that's all you need to do is that. And just paint over that very quickly. Use a little bit of fluid if you want. If your paint, like my gesso, is a little bit thick because it's been sitting in a pot in the studio in this heat that we find ourselves in Wales at the moment. I'm just going to get a little bit more burnt umber. There we go. Can you use just burnt umber or any other pigment without gesso? Yes, you can, but be very careful because, as I said, using paint directly like that, and you're thinning it down too much, and you can cause it to flake. But as far as the tone is concerned, that should be fine because you're painting layers over layers over layers, and that should allow that to be sealed in place. So basically, that's a toned canvas, and we've still got our lines in place. There we go. So all I got to do now is dry that off, or let it dry naturally. It takes about 20 minutes if you want to let it dry naturally. To be honest with you, I find it's okay just to use a hairdryer, but I've got to do that for lessons anyway. But if you want to leave it sit there, you could do several of these at one time, tone them up ready for painting, and keep them one side dust free, so you're ready to go when you're ready. I hope that's dry enough. Okay, so let's pick up a brush. What brush shall we use today? I'm thinking maybe we'll just use this number size 20 short flat. There we are. That'll do me. That'll do me. It will. A little bit of medium mix. There's my medium mix there. I get some white. I thought we'd go a little bit of blue today. I thought we'd have a little bit of a blue background in this today. So let's just put the blue, a bit of ultramarine blue and a bit of white straight in like this. These little paintings are brilliant if you're just learning to paint, and you want to get the grips with acrylics, because a lot of people are struggling with acrylics because they dry in so fast, especially in temperatures like I find myself in this last few weeks. In the UK, it's the hottest it's been in the UK this time of year, which is May, in case you're wondering, for 125 years. Okay, not as hot as some parts of the world, but it is hot for Wales, because normally it's raining in Wales, as you know. So we just put in a little bit of white, titanium white, a small smidgen. As a smidgen is a small amount of blue, just to give this pastel-y type of blue sky whatever look. Just getting that into there like that. Don't have to go any further really, because there's going to be some green in this in a second. And what I find when I'm doing little studies like this, or little practice paintings you can say, is the fact that just use basic colours. Just use the red, the blue and the yellow, and get yourself some brown and some black and some white just for darkening colours. But try and keep to the basic colours. Try and keep to the basic colours, because from the primary colours, that's what they call them, primary colours, in case you're wondering, because I forgot what they were. Just keep the primary colours, because you should be able to mix 99.9% of all other colours from that, those three colours. So there's something for you to practice as well. So it's not just about getting to know the paints, it's getting to understand colours, and you can worry about tones and shades and all these other wonderful things that we talk about as artists. Again, the most important thing for you to do at this current moment in time is to get some paint on the canvas and start painting, because that's the only way we can learn. That's the only way we can learn. So I'm going to use basic brushes as well today, because I want to show you that you don't have to have all these wonderful brushes. Neither. You say tomato, I say tomato, 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 tomato. So you don't need all these different paints and colours. You don't need all these brushes. You just need a few basic ones. But don't tell anybody I told you that, because they want you to buy all these paints. They do. So we're just getting in some distant blue shape, tree shape type of line there like that, and just tap it in, tap. There is not, you don't have to go, and don't tell people I told you this, mind, you don't have to go to college and study lessons and to learn to paint. You don't. Do you want to get advanced, and do you want to make a living out of art? Do you want to be an artist as a living? Well, yes, then you need to go to these things and learn all these new skills, and go to Italy and learn how to do portraits and stuff, and spend 3 or 4 years of your life just drawing without painting, because that's what they tend to do. They just concentrate. They don't even paint with colour. A lot of these major places like in Italy and that, they don't paint with colour for at least 3 years. They just paint with blacks and greys and all these undertones and things before they even actually think about putting colour to a canvas, because that's just the way it is. That's the way they're taught. But you don't need to do that. You need to stay here with me and just paint and have fun. I can teach you wonderful things. And if you want me to teach you anything, just watch me paint and sit back and relax. A lot of people that follow my channel just watch me paint and listen to me waffle, because I can waffle for Wales. I really can. Okay, so we've got a couple of distant trees there now. Let's get a bit more blue. Let's just darken up a bit more. Oops, Don't want too much. Don't want too much. Too much will spoil it. You've got to be careful. Same basic brush. This is just a number 10, little tiny short flat. We like this and just get those lovely little patterns in. A little bit more contrast. Just a little bit darker. Just to come in front. Because if it's darker here and that's lighter there, it's going to give the illusion. It's going to give the illusion that it's in front of that. And that's what we've got to think about. It's just going to give the illusion that it's in front of that. And just put a few squiggly marks in like this. Maybe it's just a bit of a shadow, because that's water. Now it is. Now it becomes water. Sky and water. And all we did was paint the sky. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't it wonderful how art works and how your mind can see different things? And that's what we've got to do as artists. We've got to see things. We've got to see things. Okay, so what we've got to do now is get some ultramarine blue and get some yellow. And guess what? We've got a green. Now we don't need to go and buy a green, do we? We've got a ultramarine blue and yellow. There we go. Let me just show you a bit of ultramarine blue and a bit of yellow. You've got a nice dark colour. You can put a smaller smidgen of black to that, like that, and then you've got something like a hooker's green. So there we are. There's a very, very simple way of making a dark green. Now you can go and buy a hooker's green if you want to, and if what you were painting, say they're using hooker's green, but who knows what hooker's green looks like? That's a question. Who knows what hooker's green looks like? So if you painted a painting for someone and they've gone, is that hooker's green? You say, well, yes. Do you know what hooker's green looks like? No, it's just a dark green. Well, just paint. Just mix a dark green. Why do you have to go and buy all this paint and cost yourself an absolute fortune? There's no need. All these manufacturers want you to do that because they sell in paint, and they make paint. That's how they make their money. But all you need is red, blue and yellow. Some primary colours. That's all you need. Don't be fooled thinking that you need to buy all this paint. You really don't. Okay, let's just get this. Down in there like this. I'm just going mad. As you see, I've only used one brush so far, really. Oh. I used to cry. I used to think, I can't paint with these acrylics, they're drying too fast. How am I going to manage? And guess what? When you stop worrying about it, things just happen. And they work really well. You want to stop your paint from drying out. Don't use too much water. The more water you put into acrylic, the more it's going to evaporate. The more it evaporates, the more it dries. The more it dries, the more uptight you become. Yes. So mixing more yellow with less blue will give us a lighter green. And if you want to change this tone a little bit, just add a little bit of white to it. Look, just sparkle it up a touch. And guess what? On top of that colour, we can put this colour. So we've put our shadows in place. Now we need to put a little bit of lightness into that green area like that. That's nice, isn't it? And now we need to put more yellow into that. And a little bit more white. I don't suggest you use a lot of white because it'll make it a little bit chalky, but hey, we beginners, we don't mind. All we want is an effect, and that's what we want, is an effect. So we just need a nice sparkly green to go in on front of that like this. Again, the lighter it is, the more in front it will look. Does that look like stuff's in front of that now? Yes, it does. And that's what we're going to try and do. This is important, that we think about tones. Tonality of paint is very, very important. Tonality of paint. Now we can get some blue, and then we can darken this area with just a little bit of ultramarine blue. Let's just get a little bit of blue in there, and we need to darken that. Just using the paint that's on the brush. Using the paint that's on the brush. And if you find you picked up a bit too much paint, just do what I did then, and just wipe a little bit off on some kitchen roll like that, and you're away. It's easy. It's easy. Don't need to fret. No need to fret. Let's get some of that yellow. Again, I unclean my brush. Put a bit of yellow just here and there like that, just to give it a bit of a sparkle. And let's get some of this dark green. Let's get some ultramarine blue again. Some yellow. Ultramarine blue. Some yellow. And this time I'm going to put a bit of burnt umber to it. A bit of burnt umber to it. There's a bit more blue, a bit more yellow. A bit of burnt umber. Because I want to darken this area up like that. There's a reason why I'm going to darken this area up. I'll show you why now. Again, it's all about light and dark. Bit of black now. It's drastic, isn't it? It's drastic. But I know what's coming. I know what's coming, that's the thing. Okay, going back into this dark colour, let's just get a few little marks like this. Try not to fill too much of this painting up. We want to kill all that we've done over there, do we? We want to see a little bit of that. And we need to bring this forward just a touch, like that. Down to those lines. Remember those lines we put in? Aha. Well, now it's looking a little bit different. Now you can see the sky and the distant blue trees and then those different tones of colour. I don't just paint paintings. I try to give you different ideas and techniques and things. Okay, I'm not going to wash my brush. I'm just going to change my brush. I'm picking up a fresh brush. It's exactly the same size, so it's nothing to worry about. So I got some burnt umber. Now you can mix brown if you can mix a red, yellow, blue together. You'll get a dark colour. But I'm just going to mix. I'm just going to get some ultramarine blue and a little bit of black just to get me started. Sorry, not ultramarine blue. A burnt umber and black. Sorry, burnt umber and black. Just try and follow that line. Getting a little bit of white now, just into that side. Just getting a bit of yellow into that colour to make it more like a raw sienna type of colour. There we are. With a touch of green and that, because I've got a bit of green left on my brush actually. some white. Get some more white. Right, white, burnt umber. Now I gotta very lightly try and keep a nice sharp edge there. Use a bit of masking tape if you want, but you need, if you do that, you need to dry off your painting before you can put some masking tape on. But I'm just gonna freehand this as much as I can. I want a nice straight edge if I can, which I'm not very successful on doing at the moment. I'll do me. I'll do. There you go. Okay. Now, a bit more burnt umber. I want to darken that up. And now I want to put a little bit more, just a touch of black, I think. I just want a definite difference in, that's too much. I'm gonna take my hat off. My hat keeps hitting my camera. Okay, so we got a line there now. That's nice. Let's get this. Line. So we've got 3 different colours, giving some depth to that. I know it looks a bit dark at the moment, but that's fine, there we go. Now, again, I want to put a line just down there. I want to lighten that up a little bit on the side. So just going to use my I'm just going to use my arm to rest. Hopefully you can see the difference between that colour and that colour. Maybe I should darken that just a touch, I think. There you go, that's fine. Now we want to do the same type of thing, but this time I want to try and bring a line there, like this. And then a line straight up. There, like that. I think what I'm going to do is just going to get a little detail brush a minute, because I just want to sharpen that edge off. I want to make it as straight as possible. This is where the masking tip comes in. You can mask this off, and I'm not going to, as you can see. That's fine. Okay, we get that light colour now. Again, and I'm just going to use this small brush because it's just easier. I gotta concentrate because I make mistakes if I talk and paint it too much at the same time, as you just did. You take your time. There we are. Now that looks as if it's a window frame, hopefully. Can you see? Can you see what I was trying to do? I hope you can. Let's get a bit more of this green and just put them like that. It looks as if it's a little tree poking out there. Get some burnt umber. Let's just put some light now. Coming through that window like this. Very, very simple. Very, very simple, easy. Get some blue and some burnt umber, or some burnt umber and some blue. A little bit of white. White there. Just put a bit of, trying to get a nice shape, basically. Maybe a bit of black then, just on the tip of that brush, just to get a bit of shadow in. Like that. Bit of burnt umber. Touch of black, just a touch of black just underneath. To give it that depth there. The shadow, like as if it's just sitting there. It's a pot sitting there. It's a pot. And a bit of blue and white. And we need to brighten that right up, I think. We need to brighten that right up, I think. Wonderful, wonderful. A bit of glint coming out of that window. There we go. So let's get some green. Let's get some yellow and some blue and some more yellow, some white. And let's just put make a nice green. I want a nice green. I'm going to change my brush, and I'm going to find a brush. That'll do. Little tiny little filbert brush. These are little rounded brush type things. So this is quite hard trying to work out colours, but we want an orange. I think let's do a nice orange. And I'm going to get some more yellow, bit of white. And just throw a bit of colour in. Like that. We can put one there, we can put one there maybe. Okay, get some ultramarine blue. A little bit of white. And let's just put a orange and blue go really well together. Complements. You need to check up on complements. That's important. Let's get some more white in there. Just put a little block out at the moment. Okay, what I'm going to do now is just dry that off. Let's get some yellow. I'll make this quite globby. I'm going to make this quite globby now. Because we want to put some definite shapes in like this. Nice orange. wash the brush very quickly. Again, let's get our blue. Let's get a bit of white into that. I want to make this a really nice bright blue now. Again, I want a nice thick brush, thicker paint. Like this. Maybe a lot more white. I want to sparkle this right up. It's just like a massive flowers into this pot. Like that. Just to give it a little bit of life. Let's get some green. So we want some yellow and some blue mixed together. Want that quite thin. Let's just put some lines in like this. A bit more blue. I'm just going to make that slightly. I'm just going to thicken that up and or make it more opaque so you can see it. There you are, a bit like that. As if there's some leaves come in there like that. Maybe. Just put a few little leaves there. And let's get some of this orange, like as if there's a little flower just dropped off. There we are. Little flowers just dropped off because of the sunlight coming through the window. I just make this up as I go along. But it's all about just having fun. It's all about just having fun. And just painting. It doesn't matter what it looks like. You're getting used to the colours. You're getting used to brushes. I'm going to use the same brush. I'll get some burnt umber, a little bit of black. I'm going to thin this down a little bit. This might not be as successful as I want it to be, but all I'm going to do now is put a few branches and things just to tie these leaves together like this. And as I said, it's more about understanding how paint works and that, and you'll find it's a lot easier at the end of the day if you just practice like this. And this is all these little tips and tricks that I'm showing you. This is all what that's about. It's about practice. You will improve, definitely improve as time goes on. And that is the key thing and the most important thing that we must do. We always must do, otherwise we're never going to get better. We must always do and not worry about it. And this is what I'm trying to do in these lessons, is to show you that it's just about being repetitive, being able to just do something, enjoy it. It's not going to win any awards. It's not going to win the Turner Prize or nothing like that. This is not what you're doing. You want to learn. You've got to practice. In order for us to improve and get better, we must practice. And that's what these little paintings are all about for you. So I hope that you've learned something from this lesson today, and even if it's just 1% of something you've taken away with you today. This might give you an idea for another painting. I'm hoping it will. I'm hoping it'll just give you another idea for painting, but it just shows you that you can just play and have fun, and that's what we should be doing. Even at my age of 57, I just enjoy sometimes, and I just play and have fun, and that's what it's all about. So you can improve this. You could take this onto a stage, another stage, another stage. You could get this 100% better. But at the moment, as a study, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for joining me in the studio. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Don't forget to click the notification bells and join me in the studio every Monday, Wednesday and Friday where we paint away the stress of everyday life. So until next time, thank you very much and bye-bye.